Welcome to Hair Care 101, Module 2, Skincare and Hair Care at Every Age of Life. Do you have a paper and pencil handy? Then let's begin. Hair and skin are constantly changing, and the criteria shifts as a person gets older. In each stage of life, the hair and skin has different characteristics and will face different challenges. For example, in the teenage years, the skin tends to be more oily and there can be many breakouts associated with it. In midlife, hormones are rapidly changing, which cause the hair to become dehydrated and dry. But by understanding these changes, you can learn what to expect from hair and your skin in every phase of life and plan ahead today for the future. Decade 1, infant through 10. In this stage of life, you literally have perfect skin. It's soft, plump, moist, and full. Collagen and elastin are at their optimum levels, and your skin repairs itself very quickly when injured. The most important aspect of skincare in this decade is sun protection and eating healthy, nutritious foods. Think back to your childhood. Now focus on your pre-adolescent hair. It was probably more vibrant, shinier, fuller, and even lighter or brighter in color than your natural hair is now. There are a few reasons for this. During childhood, we have more hair in the growth stage than any other time, giving us plenty of volume. At this time in your life, the sebaceous or oil glands are working at the peak of their efficiency, which gives your hair or strands a high gloss. Hair pigment hasn't started to darken, so your hair color is vibrant and you probably aren't yet messing around with your hair, changing it with chemical processes or using heat appliances, all of which can rough up strands' cuticles or strip away entirely, leaving hair dull and brittle. Decade 2, 10 to 20, starting preventative care. Usually without any warning, skin starts to change dramatically during this stage of life. Hormonal changes signal the onset of adulthood, and the body starts to produce more oil due to overactive sebaceous or oil glands. Acne-type skin can develop and can range from very minimal to highly active. Skincare in this decade is very important in order to minimize the spreading of bacteria as well as permanent scarring. This is the time to get into a basic skincare routine you will use for the rest of your life. During your younger adult years, hair slowly begins changing from its childhood state. Strands may become coarser, growth may slow just a bit, color grows progressively darker, and the sebaceous activity for most of us goes on overdrive, pumping out oil at a furious rate. This is the same sebaceous activity that makes your complexion pimply. The teens and early 20s are a time for experimentation, and rightly so. How else are you going to find out what works for you and what doesn't? Decade 3, 20 to 30, maintaining preventative care. Most people tend to have balanced their hormones by their mid-20s and their skin is looking better and more healthy. This is actually the best skin you will ever have in your adult years. It is still soft and dewy and there are no wrinkles or lines. Because of this, a lot of younger people forget to establish a skincare routine on a daily basis. Most of you have strong, slightly oily hair and can afford to rough it up a bit with the latest color or texture trends. Notice I said most of you. In beauty, as in life, there are no absolutes. And if you happen to be born with fragile hair or sensitive hair, take it easy. Decade 4, 30 to 40, starting regeneration care. Skin in the 30s can still look great, but with just a few signs of aging. There may be a slight crinkle around the eyes due to your facial expressions or a slight sag in the skin around your mouth. This is the decade when your metabolism starts to slow down some and your skin cell turnover is slower. Starting an exfoliation routine is very important during this time to help those cells slough off faster. Using repair products work wonderfully to help prevent future damage or wrinkles. By the time you've reached your 30s, your hair has reached a plateau. The sebum or oil is being produced at a more manageable pace, and you have settled, I hope, into your looks and accepted your hair type. Your strands have reached their darkest shade, but the biggest surprise is awaiting you is probably the appearance of a little gray. Blondes, redheads, and light brunettes are more likely to go gray, while deep brunettes have a better chance of going white. Decade 5, 40 to 50, maintaining regeneration care. For women, the 40s usually means the start of perimenopause. At this time, skin oil production slows down, leaving the skin drier, and skin may start to become thinner and more sensitive. There will definitely be more lines and more wrinkles around the eyes and mouth, and your skin will start to sag. The good news is, skin and hair care for the over 40 group has become excellent in helping to delay the signs of aging. But having a daily routine is the most important preventative measure for great-looking hair and skin. And the use of repair products at this stage is highly recommended. Decade 6, 50 to 60, starting restorative care. By this time of life, there's no way around it. You will have many dynamic facial lines. You may have sagging and hyperpigmentation from sun damage, and it will start to show up in droves. Sticking to your daily hair and skincare routine is important, and restoring becomes mandatory. By now, you may be sporting quite a head of gray or even white hair. Sebum or oil production has slowed considerably, and your hair may grow drier and less in need of shampooing, and more in need of conditioning. Most humans experience thinning hair with age. By thinning, I don't mean obvious balding, although if you are prone to that, now's the time it will start happening. I simply mean that you will have less hair than you did in your youth. That's because as we age, our hair spends less time in the anagen or growth stage and more time in the catagen, transition, and the telogen, resting stages. Decade 7, 60 and beyond, maintaining restorative care. Believe it or not, you can still have good skin and hair in your 60s and on up. If you've taken good care of your skin through the years, it will show up at this time of your life. Keeping the skin and hair hydrated will be the biggest concern, and exfoliating is absolutely necessary. Wrinkling and expression lines are very evident now, but if you use the right products, you can still glow with vitality. Using deeper hydration products is essential. Balding may be common at this stage due to senescence, or hair follicles becoming dormant and eventually dying, but keeping the follicles healthy, open, and active are still a possibility. Now is the time to start using Monat products no matter what decade of life you're in. If you are younger, for prevention, middle age for restoration, and older for repair. Remember, Monat products are treatment systems that are cumulative and designed for lifelong results. The more you use the products, the better your hair becomes. You have just completed Hair Care 101 Module 2, Skin and Hair Care at Every Age.